welcome to my latest FPL video. We're on game week 12 now. The season has flown by, hasn't it? And we're almost halfway through already, even though it feels like every other week is an international break. And I'm all about analogies as a creative writing student, and my team has settled into university and is onwards and upwards despite the trials and tribulations of freshers' flu and punctured tyre and student finance. The finances are looking good at the moment, and as you can see, I've gone up my mini leagues, so I'm definitely on the up. And my finances are improving with 0.8 in the bank and a team value of way over 100 million. I think the analogy of my fantasy team being a bit like my life at uni so far is an apt analogy, because I imagine myself to be competing with 3.5 million snobby university students, which obviously drives me on. So I've actually gone up a massive 195,581 places in just one game week. So definitely some positives to be taken from both my life and my fantasy team at the moment. And looking back to game week 12, I feel a bit like Jose Mourinho when he first burst through the Stamford Bridge doors 10 years ago. With Jack Butland, a great chase against Mourinho's Chelsea, with them keeping a clean sheet at the mighty Britannia Stadium. And I was right again to bench Asmir Begovic. I think I am the special one with such a fantastic decision to bench Begovic and play Jack Butland. Begovic only getting 2 points, and Butland getting to double figures in 2 consecutive weeks. And I'm very pleased with Jack Butland at the moment as a Stoke fan, and even more so with Stoke's ex-goalkeeper from Chelsea being kept out of my team. And I think if Begovic was still at Stoke, Butland would probably be keeping him out of the Stoke goal at the moment with the form he's in. Butland is Stoke's player of the season so far. So I've been with Jack Butland from day one of the season, and I haven't looked back because I knew he'd come into form eventually. Stoke having a solid defence, and it's just been boosted by the return of Ryan Shawcross back from injury. So Butland is in the form of his career so far. He was a nomination for Player of the Month award for October, and even though it took him 8 weeks to get his first clean sheet of the season with Stoke's injury troubles, he's now kept a massive 4 clean sheets in 5 games. So, very impressive at the moment. And he's played very well in every single game this season, not made, a single howler that's resulted in a goal, despite being a young keeper at 22. But obviously I'm just a biased Stoke fan. And I think he should be England's number one, to be honest with you, because, he's in the best form at the moment of any England goalkeeper. So, excited by the prospect of Jack Butland at Stoke. Elsewhere, my defence fails to keep a clean sheet between them, but I'm not surprised because My defenders never seem to keep clean sheets. But looking on the bright side, Jamie Vardy scored 18 points. There's another good captain choice with Jamie Vardy in the form of his career and better form than any fancy Dan foreign striker that's come into the Premier League. Statistically with 9 goals in I think 9 games. Only Van Nistelrooy has ever been in better form in a Premier League season with 10 goals in 10 games. And if he scores against Newcastle, then he will match that record, and you'd put your money on him doing that. So Jamie Vardy, just how good is he at the moment? He's in flying form and a reliable goal scorer for Leicester. And also Juan Mata put in an overdue man of the match display in United's 2-0 win over West Brom prior to the international break. And the only concern was Dimitri Payet's injury. He had to come off on the 50th minute after a tough challenge from James McCarthy. At the time, I thought that it was just a knock and he just had to come off to get some treatment, but it turned out that it was a serious injury blow for Dimitri Payet, and it looks like he'll be out for up to 3 months of the season. So, a big blow. Dimitri Payet actually had a dream that he'd recovered from his injury and he'd be back for game week 13, but that doesn't seem in reality to be the case. The international break has always been a thorn in my side as a big fan of fantasy football, and it's been a thorn in my side of my team this week with Kurt Zouma and Jamie Vardy picking up minor injuries on international duty. As you can see, I signed Sergio Aguero for the out-of-form Bafétimbi Gomis, who is a different player at the moment to the one that started the season and scored 8 goals in 9 games. So I had a big call to make with Payet being ruled out for 3 months with a broken ankle, but I didn't feel it was really necessary to sell him straight away. I can wait another week. I thought that getting Sergio Aguero was more important, as another poor performance from Gomis would be a disaster, and I think he'd continue to fall in price. I wanted Aguero back at some point, so I thought I might as well get him for his return and be ahead of the game. He's playing Liverpool at home, so not the easiest fixture, but this is Sergio Aguero. He can score against anyone on his day. And yes, he is short of fitness, and Liverpool have Klopp, but I'm not going to take the risk. I think it's a risk not having Aguero in your team when he is fit, and he should be back in time for Sunday. Somehow I afforded Sergio Aguero for Bafétimbi Gomis, so very, very happy with my team at the moment. I think it's as strong as it's probably going to get, with a few tweaks to my defence. So, I'm very happy with Aguero in my team, but I'm not actually captain 60 million rated Aguero because Jamie Vardy, a player who cost Leicester just 1 million, is currently a better striker than him as the best striker in the league so far. And I'm right behind Jamie Vardy in a metaphorical sense, although you'd be excused for thinking otherwise. Vardy has won me over this season with his inspired performances and goals as the league's top scorer. He is in a position to make history with a goal against Newcastle, and I'm backing him to score against Newcastle. I'd back him to score against anyone at the moment with the form that he's in. So I'm sure if he's fit in time, he will get on the score sheet at St James's. Newcastle's defence, not the best. Him being injured for the international break may actually be a blessing in disguise, because it gives him a chance to have a rest, put his feet up and have that much needed and much earned rest in time for game week 13. So Vardy's my captain. He could make history with a goal to equal Van Nistelrooy's record for 10 consecutive games scored in. Payet is on my bench. Davies comes in, as does Begovic for Butland. I think Butland's form might come to an end away at Southampton. St Mary's is a difficult place to go to these days. And Norwich at home is a favourable fixture even for Chelsea. So Kurt Zouma also comes in. And that's my team for game week 13. Wish me luck.